Welcome to another episode of the Laura the Library Lady podcast, a production of the Massillon Public Library.
Hi, it's Laura the Library Lady here in our studio downtown Massillon, high atop the Massillon Public Library with Something's Brewing in Massillon. And our guest today is Rich Rohr from Rohr's Wine Room. Welcome, Rich.
Good afternoon.
Well, I'd like to know if you could tell us a little bit about your business, Rohr's Wine Room.
So we just came upon our first year anniversary last weekend. So I've been open 1 year now in Massillon. It was formerly Newman Creek Cellars.
Right,
he
on
was there,
Charles Avenue.
28 Charles Avenue. He was there for 10 years, him and his wife. And it was one of those things. I walked in, started talking to Bob and his wife, and they were ready to retire. So I was doing this out of my house for 6 years, 6 years, with a liquor license, small tastings, parties. And Bob said he was ready to retire, and I was ready to move 2,000 to 3,000 bottles of wine out of my house to a bigger location. So it worked out. It was right timing, right place, right time. The landlord was great. He was, okay with us trading, same
Making
business.
the switch, okay.
And Bob had 10 years of clientele that was going there. So
Nice.
It was a win-win for me, a good place. So when I came in, I remodeled everything and made it my own. So it's everybody, did you ever see Bar Rescue?
No, I haven't.
It's a show on cable, Bar Rescue. Everybody comes in and wants to know if Bar Rescue was there because it's been a total remodel and different change, and it just...
And you say, no, it didn't need rescued because I did it myself.
Right. Well, I wouldn't mind having that guy come in just to tell me if I'm doing it right or not, because it's all new to me. But yeah.
So do they do like the interior design and
They
then
do
they come
everything.
in and
They
demo
they
things?
fire people. They hire
my.
people. I mean, it's a big change because a lot of times on that show that they're going under within.
Okay. But
So far, I'm not.
So far, you're not going under. You're doing great, right?
Right, exactly.
Well, I think Charles Avenue is such a cute little street here in Massillon.
Small.
Yeah.
There's
Small.
only 3 businesses, me and 2 other businesses right now on Charles. So we don't get the foot traffic like Lincoln Way,
Sure.
but we do get a lot of people that park and walk up to Lincoln Way. And then I'm half a block away from Duncan Plaza,
Right.
where the music and all the festivals and the car show and everything is going on. Every weekend there's something going on. So I'm in a great location.
Mm-hmm. And people can just go around the block. If they're
Right.
heading to Lincoln Way, they just need to
Yes.
look on the other side of the block and they'll
Right.
find you. Well, a little bit about your background maybe for our listeners and where you're from originally.
I grew up in Greene, graduated from Greene. My family had ties to Massillon as farmers.
I was going to say there are a lot of Rohr
There's a lot of
family
Rohrs.
farmers.
There's
Okay.
a lot. And I get a lot of them that come in. How are we related? And I have the family tree books. I have the first 2 volumes, so I just let them see the family tree books.
Well, then.
And they're, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm at.
That's perfect. That's right up our alley because we
Right.
do a lot of genealogy
Right.
for folks here at the library.
And someone told me to come check them out because I think you have all 8 volumes here, and I think
Of
I
the
only
Rohr
have
family?
2.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that's Rohr.
Yes.
Without the extra ER on the end
Yes.
like some families have.
I don't know why they dropped it. I honestly don't. But
It's kind of pronounced the same.
it's roar. Yeah, you just got to kind of roar. Yeah. So the original Michael and Mary came from Germany,
Sure.
escaped through Poland, and came across. I don't know the year. It's in the books.
Is it like 1800s, 1900s,
Yes.
1800s?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how our family got started. The original Michael and Mary had 7 sons. So I think I'm from the lineage of the 3rd son
So you're
out
not-
of the 7.
You're not the 7th son of a
No,
7th son.
no. So Rohr's nursery may be the 4th or 5th son. So we're all cousins because only Michael and Mary came across. So most Rohrs are related.
Very interesting to know.
Right.
Yeah. And there are a lot of Rohr family members around.
And
Cool.
they're mostly farmer. In our family crest, there's an oxen, and that was that was part of the what do they call it?
I'm not sure the family crest or
the dad gives that to the other family for exchange for the
Oh, the dowry?
dowry. Yes, that's the word.
Oh, so the oxen were part of the dowry.
Right. And then our family crest, we have hay. So most of them are farmers.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's very interesting.
Right.
We didn't know we were going to get into genealogy when
Yeah,
talking about
right.
wine here. So, are you a wine maker or a wine expert, or what is your niche? What do you actually do?
It was a hobby. I was doing it in my house. It was just a hobby. And then
Making it or tasting it? Or both?
make it both. Traveling around, tasting it. That's what we call market research, going to different wineries.
There you go.
But in my house, it was just a hobby. And doing it for years. And then I started doing remote tastings at people's houses where I would bring wine. They would set up with food. And it was doing pretty lucrative. And then COVID hit and shut it down.
Okay.
So I kept making wine. I just kept making wine as a hobby and, I'd sell it here and there, doing tastings out of the house, doing parties. And then ran into this place. So
Awesome.
I've been doing it a year here and 5-6 years at the house. I don't know if I'm an expert because there's still more that you can do and more that you can learn. And since I'm in the city, I don't have a vineyard. I do everything with juice.
Okay.
I'm in an old building, so there's no
yeah.
place.
Yeah, Charles Avenue
Yeah,
is.
the building's really, really unique as well. It's one of a kind. The history behind it of who was in there and what other businesses is really cool.
Well, that's a whole other podcast.
Oh, I know, right? And it's just so a shame that a lot of these buildings sit.
Yeah. I mean, we have a lot
With
of
the history
really
of 'em.
interesting stories to tell about our history in Massillon. So what did you do before you were a winemaker?
I'm a retired union electrician. And then for 5-6 years, I worked with the catastrophe team for Allstate. So I traveled the states when there was a hurricane, tornado,
Oh my goodness.
Hail damage, flood damage, anything like that. I traveled all the
That's
states.
really interesting.
It's a lot of work. It's a
I
lot of
imagine.
hours on the road, and a lot of your office is
your truck
car.
or your car? Okay, yeah.
And you would go out to everybody's house and meet people and see the
See what
damage,
they need.
and it was bad.
Yeah.
There's no
Right, if
easy
you're
way to
dealing
look at it.
with a flood or a hurricane or
And
whatever.
they lose everything from a hurricane, and then you have to go in and total their car or take their car away because it's not drivable.
Right,
Most of the people are in shell shock still when we get there
I imagine.
after a hurricane. So electrician to insurance adjuster, and I was licensed in 16 states to travel to, and then just it was just too many hours.
Right. Well, I can see, and especially if you wanted to kind of retire and cut down on your
Right.
hours.
I work more now than I did as an electrician. Yeah.
But this was your hobby, so hopefully
Yes,
it's doing what you
fun.
love and
Right.
you're
It's-
enjoying it.
It's like throwing a party every weekend at the winery because I have to set up, I have to get who's coming in, I have to get the music ready. I have
Yeah.
to, just if people are bringing in food, get their party ready, weddings or bridal showers, anything like that people are coming in.
Okay,
I have to make
yeah.
everything. It's throwing a party for someone every weekend, and you got to make it nice that they would come back in.
Sure.
Something that they're going to say, hey, that was a great time.
Yeah. And professionally and personally, you want
Yes.
to make that a good experience
Exactly.
for them. Well, can you tell us a little bit about who works with you and how you work together with a team?
Small team right now. It's mostly myself. My son is working with me now, but he's getting ready to go back. He just graduated from Marietta College.
Okay.
And now he's getting ready to go to Wright State for graduate school.
Oh, wow.
So in the next couple of weeks, he's going to be leaving. I had another girl that was working with me, and she just moved to Tennessee last weekend.
Uh-oh.
So I'm hurting for someone to come in and help. It's a lot of hours that I can handle. It's not a lot of stuff. It's just a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's not hard stuff. It's just so many different ways it can go. You got to make sure this is ready and that's ready.
Oh, yeah.
And, just a simple thing, making sure the water's stocked in the refrigerator for silly stuff,
Right. And then with your liquor license and
Yes.
some of the food things, I'm sure there are
Right.
rules and laws and
Yeah.
people have to be responsible. So
Yes.
sounds like, though, if somebody really likes Rohr's Wine Room, they might want to come down and ask you about working there.
Yes, I am kind of looking for somebody. I've had several people come in and they work, and then they just move on. It's like, that was a good person to have. And my son has really helped so much. My other son and his fiance, they come in and help when I really need it. But everybody has full-time jobs.
Right.
And to come down on the weekends on a Friday night or Saturday night when I'm the busiest, it's hard.
Yeah, that would be a lot of hours. But it sounds fun.
It is. It is.
It sounds like you say, it's a party. So.
It's like Cheers. I know when I see people come walking across the street, I know I have pretty good memory, so I remember their names. I remember what they drink. And they come in and I can greet them just by saying their name. They're like, oh, it's a little personal touch.
Yeah, that's a really good feeling. And that's, kind
they're
of
regulars.
Well, sure. Yeah. Kind of a small town
Yes.
thing that we like about Massillon.
Right.
And so this leads to my next question. What challenges have you faced in developing your business?
Well, the first day I got the keys, March 1st of last year.
That's 2023.
2023 is when they came out and started marking the asphalt and the concrete and the sidewalks because they tore everything out on Charles. For that first 6-7 months of last year, it was nothing but dirt and construction.
Oh.
And people were like, hey, where are you located? I'm like, well, right down there.
Behind the sawhorses?
Well, behind the backhoe that sat in front of
yeah. Okay.
So the first year, it was a lot of working around construction workers and getting people into it or building a bridge so they can walk across the dirt.
Oh, my goodness.
So some of the other major, I've never done this before on a larger scale like this. I've run big jobs for electrician, but on this aspect, I'm finding out that you got to have just a silly thing about licenses for playing music or, the health code things or how hard it is to get a liquor license.
Right.
For insurance. Not the liquor license. I had a liquor license. That was the simple part. It was the insurance part of it, getting insured as a new business.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to go through several places
to find who could insure
right.
you. Okay. Yeah, so see, that is a big challenge that a lot of people wouldn't think about with a business.
But the biggest one is that music license. It's ridiculous that you got to have to pay somebody royalties for playing music.
But they wrote it, or they sang it, or they.
But the time it gets to them, it's cents. It's ridiculous. It really is.
They're nickel for their song.
Yeah. Does Elvis really need more?
I don't know. I thought they found his limo in a junkyard recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Not sure if that's true. I saw it on the internet. So, how do you define success, Rich?
When I see people have a good time, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that would be really kind of motivating and inspiring that you're.
Yeah, it's just humbling to know that they're coming in to drink my wine.
Yeah, you made it. It's kind of like it's your baby.
It's weird. It really is because this is just stuff I did in my house, and and people just ask for bottles of it, So it's pretty cool.
Now, what about like the labels? How do you do your labeling? I know that's a big deal to some people. Like the design or
a buddy of mine and his wife, he's a school teacher, and they're both designers, dress designers, and they're art teachers. And they came up with an idea, and I liked it. It was a little bit too primitive. So the new labels, it's just the lion face, and each mane is a different fruit. If the blueberry's blueberry, or pineapple pear is pineapple pear mane.
Neat.
So they're unique. But I did go to a lot of Giant Eagles or wherever I was buying wine and asked people, I watched what they went up to pick off the shelf. And they said it was the label that caught their eye first. And then when I was buying, going through the printer company, they said 80% of people buy their wine from the label. So if I have a unique label, and you can get 2-3 of them bottles beside, and they see a label with the lion's face on it and different manes. That's what gets the people, and then they know, hey, I like that one with the lion, or the bottle was cool.
I just got it. I didn't even get it. Rohr's, and it's a lion.
Yes.
Oh.
I get that a lot down there too. After like 2 or 3 bottles, they're like, I just got it. Like,
well, okay, at least I didn't have to drink any. Right. I'm in the library. I'm not drinking wine. How about anything memorable or funny that's happened to you in your business? We like to get these little kind of anecdotes and.
Well, we have. I've had several people tell me that there's ghosts in our building. I've had a couple people that are into that, can pick up on that. Paranormal lady that's podcast. She lives in Florida. She was in one day, and the basement on one side is just spooky. It's just a little freaky. Everybody gets a weird sense.
Vibe down
yes.
there. Oh, okay.
And I was asking her if she wanted to go down and check it out, and she's like, "No, I don't need to. There's been a woman standing behind me the whole time."
Oh.
So it's like, as long as we don't make her mad and she doesn't do anything to disrupt. But funny wise, I don't know. I just have a good time. Our New Year's Eve party last year was phenomenal.
That sounds fun.
Our live entertainment, some of my singers that come in just make it a great time, and people come in and stay. I get them to play for an extra hour, and the people do not leave until that third hour.
Oh, wow.
So it's just fun all the time. Nothing really memorable.
Except for the ghost lady. I would say that could be a little memorable.
Apparently they said there's a male that usually stays in the basement, and then there's two women that roam the second or first floor.
Okay. Well, the library is said to have ghosts as well.
Yeah, so. A lot of these buildings in Massillon do.
I don't know if I believe. If I don't believe and I come down to the wine room, they're probably going to get me. They're going to stand behind me and tap me on the shoulder.
But so the building has two basements, two sides, and it's divided because I have two storefronts, two front doors.
Oh, I see how it is. Okay, yeah.
The one side's a little freaky. The other side, we make all of our wine in the basement on site, on premises. And once in a while, you'll catch just something out of the corner of your eye, like move, like it's nobody down there. But you'll, about 2 weeks ago, there by myself working, and footsteps across the floor. I was there by myself, and I went upstairs. Door was locked. There was just footsteps going across. So
people who like wine, people who like the paranormal,
if you
people
get
who like to have a good
right.
time, listen to music, they can all come to Rohr's Wine Room.
Yes, exactly.
Do you have any special achievements that you'd like to share with us? What was your best wine ever or best thing ever?
My number one seller is it's a blueberry wine, a sweet blueberry wine. It's called the Whole Darn Bush. It was a mistake. I made a blueberry wine, and I messed up the recipe. And everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, that's so good!" So it took me 3 times of trying to replicate it to get it.
Find your mistake.
And everybody's
again.
like, "This is the one. This is better than the second one. This is better than the first one." So we wrote the recipe down, and it's called the Whole Darn Bush, and it's in a blue bottle, and it's our number one seller. So people come in. And I keep it in stock. We make big batches of it.
Oh, I
bet. But it goes out the door as fast as we're making it.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, see, you did have a good, fun story.
Last year was Swiss Fest. I was at Sugar Creek Swiss Fest. It's their annual October fest for down there. And I'm in the firehouse, the fire station. There's about 9 wineries and a couple cheese places. And I took the Whole Darn Bush there last year. And little 1-ounce pouring cups. People come in and take a sip of it, and they just go to sip and walk away, and then they just stop and like, "Okay, we need to buy this." And I've sold a lot of it to the point where I had to come back. It's a 2-day event, and I had to come back to Massillon, pick up more, and take it back down for the second day because
that's a big success.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's just fun. It's fun.
Yeah, I love hearing about success of Massillon businesses and Massillon folks. That's just really neat to have you here and have you in our town and be able to come in and visit you.
So my grandpa's on the Vietnam, or one of the memorial walls down there because he was World War II vet.
Okay, so his name is on the brick
on the placard.
Okay.
Memorial down there, and then the gentleman that I was named after, Richard Taylor, he was my dad's buddy, went to Vietnam and passed away. And that's how I got named, and he's on the Vietnam wall. And I'm not sure, but my uncle has a Purple Heart. He may be on the Purple Heart
placard
the plaque
thing.
Yeah.
Cool. So right across the street almost from your
shop.
shop.
I've walked by there several times and took pictures of it, and it was showing my uncles.
Yeah, that's a neat connection.
Yeah. And then with the farms, everybody knows that Rohrs and farmers.
Sure, that's cool. So anything new and upcoming that's exciting that you're working on?
We're working on, 2 weeks ago we did the women's club tasting, which was a good success for us. It was us, Naughty Vine, and McAlpine, 3 wineries, and we did really well during that tasting. And then the car show was a big success. Massillon has DORA now. It stands for Designated Outdoor Recreational Area. So at certain times on Thursday, during the week, it starts at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
And then Friday and Saturdays and Sundays, I want to say that Friday it starts at 4. But Saturday and Sunday, it starts at noon to midnight. You can purchase a drink from an alcoholic beverage and walk around in the designated cup in the designated areas.
Right, so you don't have to finish your drink before you go walk around to the next restaurant or bar or whatever.
Thursday nights, Duncan Plaza has all the concerts.
Right.
So I'm so close. People have been coming in and buying we have wine slushies.
Oh,
So
I bet they love that.
Oh my gosh, they sell really, really well. So you can come in and get a wine slushie or a glass of wine and walk down to the concerts.
As long as you're in the designated area with the designated cup.
Right.
Cool.
And it's a big area.
I thought you were going to say it was a big cup.
No, it's a pretty good sized cup, but it's a big area that it covers. There's 20 businesses that is involved in DORA for Massillon. So
then if people have questions about that, do you have the info there?
Yes,
we
we explain it to people about how it works, and there's placards around. Some of the poles around us tell you where to stay in.
Oh, right, like don't go past this area. Yeah.
But it's a great thing because we have a sidewalk that I can seat maybe 16 on.
Oh, right.
And then with the music outdoors, if you don't walk down, you can hear the music outdoors from Duncan Plaza. Like tomorrow's Thursday.
No, day after tomorrow.
Yep, the 4th, the 3rd.
But whatever.
La Flavor's in town.
Yeah,
for Duncan
there
Plaza.
are a lot of good bands coming.
Right, so it's going to be a big celebration in Massillon with the fireworks at Duncan Plaza, and come get your slushie and walk down and listen to the Flavor.
So I don't know when this is going to air, but we're still going to be in summertime, I think, and have some wine slushies. So, any advice for people who want to start their own business or people who are looking for a career?
At the same time that I was getting my liquor license and doing my stuff, my cousin also owns a winery, and Lost Trail Winery in Marlboro. It's more like Alliance. It's out past Hartville.
Hartville, okay.
Yeah, just outside Hartville. So the same time he was getting his liquor license, I was getting my liquor. So I was able to rely on questions that he had and I had, and we had the both inspector. And then I relied on Bob, who had Newman Creek Cellars. Any questions? Because I've never run a business like this. I was doing electrical work. I had electrical business, but not to the scale where I was working with the public and inspections and state inspections. And
sure.
So if you can find somebody that you can trust and get information from and lean on them a little bit, that, a lot of the wineries around town and other places will help you, There's no dumb question.
Yeah.
You rely on somebody that has the experience of say, hey, what is this?
Find your mentor.
Yeah.
So how did you learn to make wine?
It's easy.
I was going to say, I think we have books at the library on how to make wine.
You go. It's just water, juice, and yeast. That's about it.
And if it doesn't turn out, you can use it for vinegar, right?
Yeah, or do other things with it. But yes, yeah, it's really simple. It's not that big of a science. Just keep things, sterile and clean is the big thing.
Right. I'm sure that's really important. And then, of course, if you're not just making it for yourself, obviously you have those rules and laws to follow about the health regulations and everything.
One of the other things that we ran into that we weren't aware of is the labeling, the federal government and the state government that you have to be involved with. The federal government looks at your recipes. And then the state government looks at your labels and makes sure that you have the appropriate labeling, the sizes of the font, the government warnings, all the percentages on it. So you have to, once you get through the federal, which is called the TTB, then you have to go to the state, and they have to look at it and make sure it approves.
Wow.
So that's another thing that I was like, I had no idea.
Right, yeah.
I thought we were just going to slap labels on that I was going to print out, but no, they had to go through.
Can I put a piece of masking tape that says blueberry? No.
No. That's your house, you probably could, but yeah.
Yeah, if it's your own for yourself. Have any advice for balancing work and home life for folks
Well,
out there?
right now, as the first year, there is no home life.
Yeah, okay.
My life is here in Massillon. Almost 7 days a week, I'm doing something there. Just cleaning up from a party from the last night, or taking out the garbage that I didn't get to because it was midnight.
Sure.
But I have friends that tell me that I need to walk away and just have a day off. And I try to, but it's just work.
It's hard.
I have to keep it going. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's your own personal business. It's
Right.
a family-run business, so yeah, I
And
can see.
in the first 3 years, this is when you make it or you don't make it. And we've done well for the first year, and I already got music planned for next year. So
That's great.
The music's all planned for this year, and I'm working on next year's schedule. So I have to stay open another year.
That's right. You've already got it all planned
Right,
out.
right.
Yeah, we can't change it now. So if folks are looking for you, they can find you in your shop at
Yes.
28 Charles Avenue
Southeast.
Southeast in Massillon, or are you online?
I'm on Facebook, Rohr's Wine Room LLC. I think that's what it is.
I think
and then
you're right.
Instagram also.
Oh, okay.
And I post a lot of videos of the music and parties that are there.
Fun.
Also, you can bring in, I don't have a kitchen, so
That's right. I was going to ask you about
I have
this.
prepackaged food, but
Uh-huh.
a lot of people come in and bring their food or order pizza and have it brought in.
Okay. So you have kind of like a charcuterie.
Yeah, it's all prepackaged. I don't have a license to handle food, so it has to
Right.
be
It's a packaged thing.
pre-sealed.
Sealed. That's what it is. Sealed. Well, I want to thank you so much, Rich, for
Sure.
coming in
It was a
today and
pleasure.
talking with us. And, just having you here and having you in Massillon is a wonderful
It's fun.
thing. I
It's-
want
it's
people
a-
to
it's a
stop down
great-
and say hi.
Great little town. There is something going on every weekend in Massillon. They're always changing the banner.
That's right.
You have to
for the
follow
next
the
event.
different, Massillon, last Saturday Massillon.
Yeah, there's
There's
always
always
something.
something going on. The community boards,
Right.
follow any of it because not all of them are up to date, but somebody's always posting something.
Follow
and
the
there's-
library, too, because,
Yeah, there you go.
And if you're not into wine, well, you can come down and
just
still
listen to music.
Listen to music. You can get some
I have
snacks.
Coke, Diet Coke, Sprite. So
Hey.
you don't need to have, and bottled water. You don't need to have,
Have a drink,
alcohol.
yeah.
I have people that come in with their kids just to listen to Grandpa sing or something there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, perfect with the family business
Yeah.
and the family atmosphere
Exactly.
right here in Massillon.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Rich. Thanks
Thank
for
you, Laura.
joining me.
Thanks for listening to the Laura the Library Lady podcast. Be sure to check out the rest of the episodes on the Massillon Public Library's YouTube channel. You can also find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and many other podcast platforms.